Welcome back to another Million Arts video. This is just going to be my basic Warfare Wednesday with a giveaway attached. Remember, there is 2 more weeks after this one, so you can comment on next week's video and be entered in the giveaway, and the week after that. But this week, the giveaway's already over, so if you commented on last week's Warfare Wednesday, you were entered into it. So let's get started. If you do win it, then just join my Discord server, which will be linked in the description of this video, and simply message me, GrayGod, or tag me in the server, and I will get to you and kind of prove who you are. But the first winner here is Elkan Fernandez. I probably butchered that. I win the next one. You were correct on that prediction, that comment there. So just message me on my Discord, and I will get you that promo code for the giveaway. Let's choose another winner here. The second winner of the giveaway is Jack Johnson. So again, just message me on my Discord server. And let's get into it. Now, this is just my basic, if you've been watching for a while, kind of what I do. Generally, it doesn't change a ton, but there is some minute strategy that I go over in my mindset. Unfortunately, when I was recording this, the audio was on for the Million Lords, so although I was recording my voice over it as well, then the music was so fucking loud that I had to scrap it, and I'm just doing a voiceover now. But honestly, it's one of my best commentaries that you guys missed out on. So this one's going to be probably subpar, and it sucks. But yeah, as I normally do, just hitting from the lowest KP to the highest on my island first. Towards the end, I actually go for one of the top 10 players in the server, but we'll get to that later. Of course, you can just skip to that as well. But yeah, just splitting between 2 marches. They're lower level cities, so I'm not too worried. What I'm thinking here is, and the reason I'm waiting is because he is not 50% experienced yet. I'm kind of just whittling him down to 50%, and then from there, I'm going to send a 2 march at the same time, or 3 even, to get the last 3 cities that he owns. And you'll see here I split a bit higher for the 58, and then send the second 3/4 of the march, or 1/4 of the march to the 51, and just take those last 3 cities in the area. I didn't see any other cities that he had around, so I guess I took everything I could from him. Then moving my troops into that city, or regrouping them, and then going down through this other guy. And I'm just going to send a sub 10 mil march because although it's a 62 and I might be at a 15% loss on 100% experience, which is a bit higher than I want, then I notice, obviously that level 1 there is his main city. There's a bit of a glitch where it doesn't show it, but the level 1 was main city, so if he did wall me, I want it to be a little bit of a smaller march, and because he was close to the same level as me, he could have walled me. But it was kind of funny to me, after that one, he just turned pink. So I take the next couple cities from him there, and then he is demo level to me. And demo, as I'm sure everyone knows, but I'll restate it just for the hell of it, is when you are 30% or less of your opponent's KP. That is, your demo to someone else. If someone's demo to me, that means they're 30%. So if I had 100 mil KP and someone was at 30 mil, I would not be able to hit them with my full attack power and whatnot. But just running through this next guy, conveniently right next to each other. So sending a few marches there, as well as sending marches, or splitting my troops up to the next area that I am going to be hitting. And, it's important to keep that in mind. If you are going to be hitting multiple targets, that you want to kind of split your troops, assuming that you're not like full stacking everything, so that you can pretty easily jump around to the next opponents without having too much time in between. And it'll save you time. It'll make it so that other people aren't able to take those cities before you, because, obviously if you're sending a full march here and then going all the way to the other side of the island, during that extra time, people could take marches or take the city that you're marching to and wall you. But, of course, that doesn't happen here. Just send a small march. And I'm keeping eyes on the timers here because it's like between 1 and 10 minutes for all those timers on the 68s. So I'm hoping that these guys aren't too active and just immediately start taking them. They actually do start taking them, but I am able to get a few in between. So this guy didn't really offer any resistance. When I do multi-scout, he does have troops in the 66, I believe. But although I would hit it, I'd have to move my troops up and full stack it. But he turns pink like right after I take these next two cities. He actually doesn't turn pink, but it's like a glitch where he technically is. And I'm looking here, and I'm like, I'm at 147. He's at 84,000 KP. I should be able to hit him. So it's a bit more of like a server error where it just takes a fuckload of time to load. But, it's reasonable. I forget if I try to wall this or like move troops to wall it. I do have to reload here because up here, then that 48 in the top corner where I just tapped, I did have troops there, and there's a glitch as well where if you multi-scout and it lands the same time that your attack lands, it often glitches so that it shows just what was in the city before it got hit. And the issue with this is you have to reload the game and, waste time, of course. I'm surprised I haven't fixed it yet because I covered this bug like months ago, probably now, and it is still an active bug. But just going through this next guy here, I forget what his name was, but unfortunately, some of the cities still have the wall timers, so I do have to kind of work around them. Realistically, once you drop them down to 50 or 0% experience, it doesn't matter if there's wall timers because you're not getting anything out of it anyways. But generally, I try not to attack wall timers. So just looking around here and seeing who I can attack next. I don't really want to attack those top people because they are at the highest KP, so I do want to get through some of these lower people first. I do regroup there because I do plan on marching over to the right, which is that small area that you just saw. Of course, my 73% troops up there are pretty useless because they're trapped in by that guy that has Watcher activated. So I move my troops down to the other areas that I can attack from. And I'm thinking I don't really want to jump all the way over to that top right pocket that has some of the other lower people. And as I stated before, there's a bit of a glitch where it takes a while for the person to turn pink. So I regroup my cities thinking that I would head over there and take those last two. But unfortunately, I could take for 0%, but I just why? Why would I send like a 1 minute march for 0% experience? So I could just one city. Doesn't make sense to me. So instead, I decided to pull my troops up, and I am looking over here. I think Lexrit, Sir Lexrit, or however the fuck you pronounce his name, is running through those cities right now. I did kind of want to jump over there, but it's just too long of a march, and the people over there are active and about my level, so they could pretty easily Walmy. So instead, I decided to just send my troops over to the area that the other ones are regrouping in already. And yeah, I'm looking at this and I see he has like 58 minutes on those timers. So he obviously is online and he's running through it. So what I'm trying to do now is kind of beat him to these cities. So I'm going to basically just go straight up through them. I split off into 2 sub 10 mil marches and just take those first 4 cities. Then I have to kind of regroup all my troops for the 68s because it's a bit more than I want to take with like 15 mil. So I pull my other 10 mil, or I do pull all of it. I thought maybe I saved some, but I do take this last 56 and then pull my troops into that 56 above it. That's there's also a thing where like if you zoom in too far or zoom out too far, their bubble disappears, and so you think like, oh, I can hit this guy, but you can't. You go to tap it and it's like, yeah, they have watch activated, so fuck off. It's annoying, but whatever. Also, you can't see, and I actually am like swearing a lot in this video before I voice overed it, but swearing a lot because when I'm going to tap on these cities, I go to attack them or send a march to them, and I have to tap on the city like fucking like 4 times because I don't know if they made the hitbox. Like even there, I had to tap twice. There, I'm tapping on the city like 5 times just to try to open up its like informational box. And it's just annoying. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like even there, you see I'm tapping multiple times and I can't open it. But whatever, I'll try not to bitch about it too much for you guys. Just in case anyone's like, why is he complaining? Like, it's just a game. Chill out. You're right. Imaginary person that I just made up in my mind to have that conversation with. But back to attacking. So yeah, I just hit those 68s. I scout them. I don't really see any troops. I looked around just there and also didn't see any cities that he could have boosted from or like reinforced from to then see there. I'm struggling like a fuckload to tap on the city. But I don't see any troop or cities nearby that he could have boosted to reinforce those cities. So I kind of just take him. I don't think I scout from here. He is at 0% experience now. So I think I'm able to take that last city. I forget. Let us see if I'm able to. I'm not. It's demo. All right. So Daft Punk here, he has the 155 mil, which I see. I still send the march because I think he's fast enough so that it's close and he can't boost to Walmy. There's a chance that he reinforces the city, of course. I do see this guy attacking down there, but I can't get there in time anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. His other cities they have timers, or the ones that don't are further in, and I'd have to go past the 150 mil or whatever it was. So not really too worth it for me. I do boost this, that I normally wouldn't, but I do boost that march just because I was recording and not planning on voicing over after, and didn't want to waste too much time for you guys. But just going to send a small march to that level 69 city. So I scout, nothing there, send the 14.9 mil. I want to say like I am not in almost full rusher like I normally do. Towards the end, I do change that up a little bit. I'm thinking here, like, do I want to hit his cities, like go further into this bubble? And I don't know if it's worth it. I was even thinking of like jumping over to that area, but then I see Sir Lexter taking those 4 cities up top, and so that plan's out. This guy's got timers on everything, and they're only like level 55, so I'm looking around in other islands, just on my borders. I don't plan on marching too far. And I see these small guys, all have timers, so thinking of jumping through a temple or a small city. But then I noticed my clanmate's also there, and so I don't want to really attack that because he holds that cluster. But then I'm looking down here, and like, oh, there's 70s. I have enough troops to take them. There's conveniently a jump point of some guy that I'm fairly cool with, Sergeant A-hole. So I could probably just send a sub-mil march and like 999,000 and then boost from there and attack his cities. And that's what I do, boys. That is what I do. So I don't even scout Sergeant A-hole. I just like assume it'll all work out. Karma, whatever. But I do move those into a singular point so that I can boost them down to my closest city to that jump point. Send that first march. Then once they're congregated, send the second march. About a minute difference. I guess I should have just skipped this part for you guys so you'd be like, I did skip a little bit of it, but I should have skipped it all or sped it up a little bit so you don't have to watch the whole march. It's probably boring as hell, isn't it? But, yeah. I'm not even sure what to say next. Like, I'm just making sure I still have temples, and I do have extras even. Kind of looking at his level, seeing if it's worth sending a full march down. It isn't, because he has, a lot there. So what I do here is I do pull in my troops. I'm thinking maybe it can split properly, but it can't really, so I send off that to lower it to a 837. Then I send a 100K some march in, and then wait, because behind it, I'm thinking I can send another 44, which I can, and it works out quite well, that splitting, to then be able to send a 994, which is about as close as I could get to a 999K march. And you see me just spam it, tapping that, because it's my other march is about to land, so I have like 3 seconds of wiggle room, and it's just not letting me. But it does work out, so that's cool. And then from there, I just wait, boys. I just wait. And I do skip a little bit of time skip here, checking around to see if I have other troops. I could obviously just do this from my city tab. So zoom in here, little time skip for you. And in 19 seconds, we see if Sergeant A-hole walls me. Now, I was mentioning when I was doing just the generic recording, if he was smart and he did want to wall me, what he would do instead is place his troops in the 70 above it. And then after like 30 seconds, he would attack the city that I just took. And you see here, I'm speccing more into Rusher, because what I want to do is get my main stack down there as quickly as possible. And the time I save by doing that makes up for the time that it's spent to, reorganize those. But also because when I'm hitting this guy here, I do not want to be walled, because I'm already taking a massive loss on these cities, because I'm going to be splitting my stack a little bit here. I'm also looking over here, because if he does have troops in that 70, which he doesn't conveniently, I could jump over to that 60 that Sergeant A-hole has over to the left. And I'm also talking here, like, I don't see why he'd have troops in that main cluster. Normally they do, but because his main city is so close, I don't really think that he would. Now, obviously he's online, you see that scout there. So I do split my troops, and he is reinforcing this city. And so instead of staying and trying to underwall or whatnot, I instead decide to attack as fast as possible, because I want to take as many cities as possible. And here I split my troops to smaller marches just to make it worthwhile. Send that 13 up to the 70. I'm not going to be hitting anything above 70 down here. It was 116 that would have easily cleared through me. I decided to send a sub 10 mil march, because I'm thinking he's going to be pretty aggro and try to reinforce these. I do take heavy losses, but as you can see, I'm leveling 3 times throughout this. So it is kind of worth it. Plus, I'm bubbling at a higher KP, so I will be making back those troops. Now here, I do go against my greediness, and I don't take that closest 70. Instead, I work up to the next 70 for 2 reasons. One, this first 70, he could be reinforcing to it. It's much more, predictable of a march. Second, I don't really have that many troops anyways to take 4 70s, so I might as well just take the 3 and be satisfied. I already did pretty well. If he walls me, he does, whatever. I got a lot of experience from this. So I take those 3, and from there, I see that King Skip is actually running through him. So I was thinking, that 60 that I was pondering of jumping over, turns out not an option. My clanmate already ran through that area, and I don't really want to attack him anymore. Obviously, he's online and defensive, so that's one issue, but also because I don't want to invade my clanmate's territory too much. Now you say, you're kind of doing it to your clanmate that's just down to the right of you that you just saw. But he's level 1, he hasn't even attacked anything this season, so I'm pretty sure he's okay with me hitting cities around him, because he can't hit him anyways. At least that's, what I'm saying in the back of my head to make me feel good. So I'm thinking here, what I should have done is sent to the 66 above instead of that 66, for the reason that if he does attack from that city, then he would be hitting the 66 below first, and so it wouldn't give me a chance to defend or get out of the way, because my march is still a ways off. Now I see here Daft Punk is multi-scouting, likely hitting the 7 mil in the city next to him, because it's really a smart move. If you're going to hit a person that is just at the brink of turning into 0% or demo, then if you hit a city with troops in it, 7 mil, it's basically like hitting a 72, plus you get gold from it. So it's worth it if you're not taking too high of a loss. And here, I don't take his temple, kind of showing good faith, just jump over and take his cities instead, because I do not need the temple, so why take it from him? I also do take this city. I'm thinking, Daft Punk, he has troops in the area. He might be heading up there as well. If he was, I would have walled him. Not a fan of Daft Punk. I do respect his strategy, but it's basically de-leveling everything around him and saving gold the entire season, which fucks over islands like no tomorrow. I've had to deal with him before, and I probably have videos about it in my past, Warfare Wednesdays or end of season strategies or whatnot. But from there, I recoup my troops into my main city, and I just upgrade my cities. I'm thinking here, if someone is going to hit these cities, because obviously, I'm bubbling in 20 minutes or so at this point. If someone's going to hit the cities, they're going to hit the lowest ones and then level them themselves, because they're not going to take heavy losses on hitting low cities. So I'm thinking here, I might as well upgrade all my cities to level, higher level 50s or 60s to avoid this potential issue. And, it turns out no one really attacks me in the end anyways, but I do still level them up. And I realize I'm going to run out of gold if I throw everything to level 60. So I do kind of split my gold around through other cities. I do try to also make sure I am leveling, the ones that I did take out 2 levels. I try to level them up the 2 levels that I took, and otherwise just spreading gold evenly. Of course, I'm also mentioning here, I say that like there's 2 me's in this video, but I'm mentioning here that I am only leveling these once for 2 reasons. One is because I would run out of gold from other cities, and the second is if I'm leveling them twice, I'm going to lose gold on the investment. If I don't level them at all, I will make gold, of course, but I'll make less experience. So if I level him once, I make gold, likely, unless he's hitting like crazy high striker and troops. But I'll likely make gold back if I level him once, and I will make more experience back, and it'll likely be double experience because they're down there. So it's like a win-win. Why not do it? But then, obviously, I'm just using that tab to conveniently check where my lowest cities are, leveling up to 105s because I only have like a couple mil gold left. I do open a chest here, get nothing, kind of predictable outcome. Yeah, I have 72 mil. I do have a troop expedition out for... And here, I'm just like doing these last couple levels. I do have a troop expedition out. It has like 20 some hours on it. I was thinking of saving it for like 4 hours into my bubble and then collecting it because I'd have a little bit more passive gold through production built up. I decided against this because later on Sir Lexer, like 10, maybe 8 minutes before my bubble, he starts hitting me in some of my cities. He really only takes like 2 or 3, but I was thinking he might take more. And so I just collect it. It's like 30 mil, something like that. So when I am actually bubbled, kind of past when this video is over, then I have like 100 mil. But that's pretty much the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate your continued watching. If you have been, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, all that other bullshit. See you next time.